Censure and Puntland on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipe Man here on the Adventures Pipe Man W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Adam D'Amico from Lorna Shore.
Nice. Here at Louder Than Life. I've been following you all over the world, actually, because I do festivals here, UK, Europe, and you guys have just been everywhere.
We have been everywhere. Literally have been everywhere. It feels like it.
How wild is that? Like, from starting out and then being a deathcore band, and then all of a sudden you're accepted in, like, even Lollapalooza, like, everywhere you go, like, they want you.
It is very surreal to think about the band from the scope of, like, being a New Jersey local band, and then it's already hard as is to, I feel like, to make it outside of, like, the state. And then to be able to make it across the country and then across to different countries and across the world, it is kind of crazy to see, especially the style of music that we play is not really something that I would expect to be able to be in all these different places, but definitely humble and grateful that we get to do all these things. But yeah, it's nothing I've ever expected. I was just grateful that we got to like leave New Jersey. So.
Right. What exit do you live off of? I'm from Jersey too.
We're in New Jersey. I grew up on exit 140.
Nice. I grew up in Montclair, Roseland, Little Falls, so not far from
Yeah, I'm from Union County. So so I still live in Union County. I live off exit 135 now. So yeah, the Scotch Plains area. So that's where I live.
And I lived in South Plainfield.
Nice.
I used to be years and years ago manager of Harrow's in Union. I don't even know if it was open because it closed like several years. It was open for like 60 years.
Okay.
It was the pool place.
Oh, okay. I didn't have a pool, but I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
So Jersey, small world.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very small world. So to be able to escape and to be able to like, play in different countries and different parts of the world is very surreal, I would say.
Totally, because I remember back in the day, like back in the 90s, it was like either you played Club Stocks, we called it Pigpen, but it was Playpen, or Birch Hill in Old Bridge, or like one of those little places, and like that's kind of where it stayed. Like Metallica, that was their home. After their home was the Bay Area after L.A.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because like we grew up playing really, really small like VFW, fire halls, and like all that type of stuff. It wasn't even like venues because there really wasn't many outside of like bigger ones, stuff like Starland and like Wellmont and stuff like that, which we were not capable of playing at that point in time. So to be able to do that and to be able to take the band from where we were to where we are now is just really awesome.
I have my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll express mine of what do you think propelled you to play all over the world, and especially in places probably deathcore would normally not play?
Honestly, the more I try to think about it, the less magical it is.
Right.
I think the more I try to figure it out.
So that maybe I shouldn't tell you my opinion.
No, please tell me your opinion, because everyone always tells us the opinion, and it's cool to hear. It's like cool to hear the people's take on it. But to me, I just feel like my whole thing is that I feel not just our band, but I think just the world that our band comes from, just from it being extreme music, I think it's starting to be more accepted these days. And I think people are starting to be more open-minded to it and being more open to it. And I think that has allowed us to be able to exist and thrive in places that we probably shouldn't have been in, because I feel like these days everyone is a lot more open-minded to what we are producing, and I think more people are understanding it. I would say that's the way that I kind of see it, just from our band, from just the extreme metal standpoint. Because I feel like growing up, if I explained to anyone, like my family or anyone that or any friends that didn't listen to it, they never got why I listened to that style of music. Right. But I feel like nowadays, I think people are being a little more diving deeper and trying to understand what it is that makes this music, and I feel like kind of gaining more fans from that. That's how I kind of see it.
Totally agree with that. As somebody that comes from the original 80s band, like I went to Slayer's first show ever, Metallica's first show ever. That's my battle vest from the 80s.
Nice.
And Slayer didn't even have a patch back then, so I just did that.
Nice. There you go.
And so, like, I think it's because of the world. First of all, metal, we're one big family now, so there's a lot of people that are accepting metal that would have never back then. I think there's a lot less gatekeepers is one thing. There's some still, but not like then. Like you couldn't even listen. If you listen to this band, you couldn't listen to that band. But I think most importantly, the world right now is so crazy and your music is so emotional and so real that people are relating to that and relating to the lyrics and the feeling that they get from it.
Yeah, I definitely think we put a lot of our emotion and we wear our heart on our sleeve, I'd say, when we write our music. I think we really lean into that. And I think we've taken some chances in the past by leaning into that kind of route, and it's done well for us.
Yeah.
So which is always kind of nice to kind of be like, put yourself out there and then people receive it the way you kind of want it to be received is a good, feeling and a good experience. And I think the more we've done that, the more people we've reached, which is obviously a good feeling, and allows me to go to different places I never thought I would ever be. So it's really cool. I definitely agree with that. I feel there is a lot going on. I've always said that our job as musicians is to be the wedge between people and the shit they deal with.
Yeah.
And trying to create that peace for a little bit, and that means finding something to relate to in our music or finding something to escape to in our music is, I feel like we're doing our service to the world.
I agree, and it's true because back in the day, metal wasn't supposed to be the emotional music. It was something different, but we all got therapy from it. But now there's different therapy. I think there's different therapy needed now than there was then.
Yeah, I think for me, what I got into metal was, how I got into it was, I felt like it was an escape and it was a release from just like being super intense. And I've always loved that. And we try to put that in our music as well, because I also do find that there is a place for it. But I just feel as if it's adding the other elements to it is just as necessary, but it's not like a conscious thought. It just kind of comes out organically. It kind of like comes out in how we write, and it's not like we sit down and go, we need to write this because of these blank reasons, because I just feel like that just feels very disingenuous.
Yeah.
So we try writing from a very honest standpoint and what we're feeling, and I even said I can't write a sad song if I'm not feeling sad. You can't force me to write something.
Right.
And I'm not going to write an angry song if I'm not really angry or not having a need to express those emotions. So I feel human beings are very dense and have a lot of emotions they kind of go through on a regular basis, and try to find a way to channel that and put into songs and put it on an album, and people can relate to it or escape from it.
I love hearing that too, because on the other end, there are a lot of metal bands nowadays that kind of go by this formula of what they should be for whatever their micro genre is. And I love what you're saying, because to me, an artist, you're just expressing yourself, and you're right. Whatever mood you're in, you can't force another mood, and you can't fake it. Okay?
No, I think I tried to. It's always come out really wrong and just it's something I wouldn't even listen to, but I feel like, I have to be this thing, and I'm not in the mood to do that, then it won't come out in a productive manner. So, yeah, I also feel we all have different emotions that we go through. I think some people spend more time in certain ones than others, but I feel that's what we try to do with writing a record, is having a diverse spectrum of emotions that you can kind of relate to, and whether it be good or bad, or ones you're trying to escape from, or ones you're trying to live in a little bit more. I think just try to have that, because I feel like we all kind of go through that throughout the week or throughout the day or throughout the year, and I feel like just having that as an availability is something that I try to think about.
And I love what you said before, because to me, if you are just true to yourself, your people will come, and I think that's what happened with you. You didn't think about what you should do, what you have to do, or what people would like. You just did what you felt, and then I think that's why you got out of Jersey.
I can't. You can't figure out what people like. I think someone said something to me forever ago, was like, you can be the ripest, juiciest peach under the sun, but someone's still allergic to it.
That's a great one.
So, it doesn't matter what you do, someone's going to find something they don't like about it or don't even have any interest in. So, to try to write from that standpoint of trying to be the best for someone, they might not even like it anyway. So, trying to create with that intention I just feel is very disingenuous, and it's very inauthentic, and it doesn't allow people to organically come to the band, which I feel like, for me, as still a fan of music, it's nice to just come to something organically, and not someone telling you must listen to this thing because here's said reasons. The contrarian in me doesn't really prescribe to that anyway.
Right.
So to me, it's really nice to come across something organically because it connects to you, and it's not something, and it feels nice that it's being written not because of any other reason other than that's just what they felt like expressing. So.
Absolutely. And how do you feel it's been for you as an artist? I know music is therapy to the artist and to the listener. How do you think it's helped you through your hard times, just writing and performing the music?
It's an outlet. It's a way to express yourself. It's a way to make sense of things that don't make sense. I think things like emotions they don't make any sense at all. At least that's what I tell myself. And to find a place to express it, to almost somewhat put it to paper, is, I think, really healthy. It's really productive, and I find it just it's been cool to just put it out to the world and have other people relate to that. So it's a really cool moment for me. I think I've always found it, whether it be at this scale or at a smaller scale, it was just cool that like you can tell your story and someone can relate to it, and and it's a complete stranger from you. And it's just really cool, like, I don't know, interconnecting type of thing, if you will. But it's a cool way to express yourself. It's a really cool outlet, and it's a lot healthier than other forms, I would say.
Absolutely. Like, people don't understand the pit, okay? Like, me, I go in the pit to get all my crap out.
Yeah.
You know, so I won't do stupid shit out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's there for. It's
Exactly.
It's there to release so that you can go back to life feeling a little bit more at peace, I would say.
Yeah.
Which I know it seems crazy because on the outside world, seeing something like this extreme genre of music is like, that makes no sense. But like, I feel like it's, if you see it from a lens of being more cathartic as opposed to like, you know, what other stigmas are attached to it, I feel like it looks like a healthier thing.
I agree.
Which is weird to say healthy and like in the context of this, but that's kind of how I view it.
Well, that's kind of like when people say certain things to me, like, how can you listen that and go to sleep, or how can you listen? I'm like, it relaxes me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Because again, that was the same thing as me as a kid listening to it. Like, I would listen to these bands and I would fall asleep right away. I'd fall asleep listening to it, or I do it on the road, and just like, all right, wake up to like listening to a record. I'm like, how did I fall asleep to this? But it just, I don't know. There is a release there. So.
Totally. So, the newest album.
Yes.
Tell us about that, and tell us how you've evolved as a writer and artist in this album compared to previous albums.
So I think this time around, the biggest thing that I feel like I was attached to was trying to make each song be its own character and focus on the strengths of those characters, as opposed to trying to have every song be every character.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of like watching a movie and each character plays its point or its purpose in the story.
Totally.
And I feel like that was something that I was trying to focus on, is like lean into the strengths and really commit and protect those strengths. So if a song is meant to be a certain direction, really do everything to bolster that up. And if a song is meant to be a completely different direction, do things that aid in that as opposed to trying to take away from it. So I feel like that was the biggest thing that I feel like I evolved from, was like really being committed to what is this song, what is the theme of the song from top to bottom, from beginning to end. Because I feel like in the past, I feel like we were a little more vague, and we tried like dipping our toes into different things at once, which sometimes worked out, but sometimes felt like you were left with like a confusing story. And this time around, it felt like from top to bottom, from like the moment we start writing a song to like finishing a song with lyrics or music video or even album art or anything, or just song name or anything, it was just like, let's just make sure it really hones into committing to what that song's purpose is. So I feel like just making sure and protecting the diversity of the record, making sure that you're protecting the theme of the record is important. And that's something that I feel like we've for sure grown to on this album. And I also just think, as I was saying before, like genuinely writing about your experience, you know, not writing a song because I feel like I have to have in checking a box and we need to have a blank song, or we need to have a song that has blank or this or that. It felt like this time around was like, if we're feeling this emotion, just kind of ride that as long as you possibly can, and then just really being committed to having everything be as cohesive as possible.
I think that's what makes your music real and what has brought such a strong, loyal fan base to you right there.
Yeah, I hope so.
There it is.
I'll take that.
Tell everybody how they reach out to you on socials, on the web, buy your merch.
If you're coming out to this tour, we'll be touring with us, the Black Dahlia Murder, Shadow of Intent, Peeling Flesh. We're touring pretty much all across America for the next 6 weeks. So come out to a show if you're not. Find us on all social media platforms. If you haven't bought a record, come out and listen to it, buy it, whatever you need to do. But come check us out, and hopefully we don't let you down.
I don't think you will, and you're definitely not going to let us down here at Louder Than Life.
No, we're not.
And thanks for being here, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you for having me. This is Adam D'Amico from Lorna Shore, and you're listening to The Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.